Hello, this is Victor at RestoreYourMercedes.com. This is my 93 600 SL, and this car did a number on me, and I'll explain you in a minute. Basically, when I bought it, I found the receipt regarding power steering reservoir leaking. So supposedly it was the hose or whatever. There was a dealer receipt that said that there was, I think, power steering hose, the reservoir was leaking, and they replaced the hose. So I was like, okay, that would explain the oil and stuff down in there. So when I had the car, when I bought it, I had to replace infamous breather pipe that is deep in there in the groove. So I did have to remove intake manifold. I did that, replaced the pipe, saw all the moisture down in there. As you can see, moist areas, like sort of oily area. So I was like, okay, so that's from power steering, and put it back all together, clean it all off. But then it wasn't the power steering. It is actually infamous seal under upper chain cover, which is known to be leaking, but the engine has 29,000 miles, so I figured, okay, that could not be it yet because it's just too little of miles on it. So I didn't proceed replacing those seals. Well, now I'm back to this engine because yes, the seal is leaking. It was actually relatively dry when I got it, and it developed leak after a very short time, and I didn't drive it pretty much at all. I mean, just a little bit, but I started it, I let it heat up and whatnot. So I cycled the engine just not to have it sit. Now, let me show you the areas where you would look for the leak. Obviously, the first area, the easiest one to see, is down in there. Let me see if I can get that on camera. You see that area right over there. See, that's wet. You can see the little bit of silicone over there. This is that infamous corner right down there. This is the famous corner where the leak would develop. The other areas they're not visible. You can't see them. Nothing else is pretty much visible, so you cannot say. As you can see, all of this oil down on there. Basically, I never got time to get to it, so my fault basically. But I knew about this, but like I said, because of the low miles, I kind of discarded it. So this is another corner. That's the driver's side. As you can see, it's all wet right down in that very area. Let me see. Right down there. See right here. This is where it joins. It's like a head gasket, lower case, and upper case of timing chain cover. Another area, of course, is on the other side over there. And also, I see that there is a leak coming up from up there. So when I put my finger right up there, you can see it's moist. But again, all of that stuff I kind of discarded because of that receipt I found for the power steering reservoir. It sits right over here. So obviously it will just leak straight down there. And obviously there's oil residue here and there, you can see it. Apparently it wasn't that. So now I'm doing this again. This is sort of halfway through the process. Intake manifold had to be removed again, of course, and then valve covers will be removed and the whole nine. Seals, gaskets, all of that. New thermostat just in case. New risers, because I also reused original plastic. Is like the rubbery kind of rise, like these extensions. You don't want to do that. I'll show you the parts I have. You want to use updated parts. If you have an engine built in 95, I believe, it already will have updated aluminum extensions. They're sort of risers. They're like extensions for intake manifold. Again, low mileage vehicle, I figured I'll leave them. I siliconed them. There were no leaks. Everything was fine. But since I'm going back in there, I'm gonna just redo it all, let it be. I'm also going to probably change camshaft seals, even though they're very pliable, but again, at this point I don't want to go there no more. Water pump is fine, no noise is there, so all of that stuff is going to be left alone. See, even this pulley is perfect. There's no noise or anything. It's like touching over here. It's like pretty good, but I don't know, maybe I'll replace this too, just in case. Parts list now. Well, anyway, in order to remove these things, you see what has to be done. The fan comes out. I'm not gonna even go there. It's just a lot of things to do. I spent quite a few hours already taking it all apart. Some parts are over there, some plastic parts are there. Then we have a wiring harness, vacuum pipes, upper radiator hose, filler, the expansion tank hose. What else we got there? Obviously mass airflows with their boots, respected boots, brake booster, vacuum line, both throttles of course, throttle bodies. You got 2 banks of your ignition wires, distributor rotor, distributor caps of course, both. Well, all of that comes off. Fuel rail, fuel lines, throttle linkage, thermostat housing, distributor rotors, the distributor caps, covers, thermostat housing with pipes. As a matter of fact, I wanted to explain the thermostat situation. I don't want to revisit this, even though the thermostat is in good shape. It doesn't seem to be stuck open, because the Mercedes thermostats, for some reason, they get stuck open, so the car never reaches operational temperature, which I have on my other V12. Right now it's winter time and it's basically below 80, which is bad because the engine is not running in its perfect, you know, the mode it's supposed to run at. It's like it's got to be 87 and up. So this way the engine runs at optimal performance and less burning, you know, less gasoline. It doesn't run rich. It's not like always in warm-up stage, which is bad. So I want to get that done. Power steering reservoir. This is the infamous power steering reservoir. Look how tiny this thing is, huh? Just like really. But supposedly the receipt showed that they did something, which I cannot see what they did exactly. I don't see. Maybe they knew about it and they just told the customer it was done, but pipes seem original, as you can see. I mean, I can't say 92 week 14, so that's a 1992 made pipe. Same here, so they never replaced it, so that's probably some, I don't know what happened at that point. So, but clearly I had that receipt, therefore I didn't really proceed with the rest of the job. Obviously the intake manifold, now it has to be cleaned off again. Alright, so this is what has to come out, and that's not all yet, because valve covers have to come out, and all of that stuff, like the covers themselves come out, seals are under, then everything is cleaned off, resealed, magnets resealed, and stuff like that. So what I have in terms of parts, I'll show you a few things. So just to, they're not cheap, and I don't want to do this job twice. Okay, so these are the infamous seals. This is one of them. As you can see, they leak at very edges right here. Okay, so that's where the leak is. So I got one seal. They're not the same, they're different shapes, as you can see, left, right, whatever. Then we have our intake manifold extension seals, gaskets rather, another set. What I did not buy yet is the thermostat and rubbers there. This is what you want. You want to put in these kind of gaskets. These are the updated style gaskets, and you want to put in aluminum risers, aluminum extensions. Okay, so these are the ones that you do want every time you pull off intake on 93. These are not the cheapest, I would say, but trust me, if you want to reseal it again with silicone, it's a painful process because it has to be done very tediously. And then I had very hard time removing the intake again because it was silicone glued very well. I did a really good job on it. and it was very hard to pry it off again. I thought I'm gonna crack something, but and these two are valve cover gaskets. We do want to replace these as well because I'm at it, might as well do it. And right now, like I said, I'm missing camshaft seals, which those I'm gonna order. I didn't want to order it now because I was gonna make this final call to a dealer when everything is removed in case I need something else. Like sometimes these little clips break off, so you would replace couple of vacuum hoses or whatnot, couple of brackets or some screws you miss or stuff like that. So that's why I didn't order them yet, because I knew I was gonna order them, but not at the moment. And from here you don't see much. Actually, let me do one more shot. You see, that's the area of that valve cover, not valve cover, timing chain case, upper case. So and of course I actually had to drain the radiator halfway. Now the thermostat situation, when you get a thermostat, it has to come out as one whole assembly, as you can see, because the engine hoist hook is right here, the lift point, and it will not come out. It's just the thermostat won't come up because it's in the way, and the bolts won't come out because they're also in the way. So it's like sort of kind of messed up situation. So when you get thermostat, it comes with all the O-rings, but I'll order that first, and then if it doesn't have the rest of the O-rings, I'm going to replace them. You want the O-rings in this area, this one, obviously this one, and this one. So this 5 in total. So that's basically all right now. So I'm working on this one right now. I finally get to work on it, and that's pretty much the last leak that I have. I had suspension leak, there's a bunch of other leaks because I'm waiting for parts for this car. This is actually another interesting situation here. Looks messy, yes. This car's set for many years. 500E set for years outside, but the engine runs now. I just have to change spark plugs and whatnot, but we also need HVAC. The fan was working, but the voltage regulator went out on it, so I'm waiting for that. A couple of other parts for the door. Well, anyway, that's later. That's the voltage regulator here, as you can see, this little thing. So I'm planning on replacing that one, and some door parts. That's going to be a separate video, but parts are coming for this one, and I decided to bite the bullet and do this because I have a little time right now, and that's what I'm working on now. So this is basically it. These seals, they all leak. All those U-shaped seals, they all leak. It's just unavoidable. 6-cylinder and 12-cylinder, they all leak in the same exact areas. Nothing you can do about it but to replace it. But on V12 it's very involved. On the 6 it's much easier. So V12, you can see how many things have to be done. 6-cylinder is going to be much easier. Now if you have a 95, then you don't have to replace aluminum risers, the extensions. You just change the seals on the intake, those those green ones, and you're good to go. So you don't have to go there, but I will just do it because I have, I'm right here. Really hope that I didn't put a lot of silicone underneath this thing, because that's going to be very difficult to pry off again. Weird situation, but Mercedes updated this not for no reason, because of these problems. I do also see a little bit of oil leak, sort of moisture sweating, kind of like right around here. Cannot determine if it's coming from the top, because the top seems dry except for just a little bit over here, which is super little. It could have been from the magnet, but that's to be resealed anyway. Once I remove these covers, I'm going to clean them all off, reseal the magnet, reseal the cover, because it also needs to be sealed off all around the perimeter. That's where it's coming from, that area right there. And so off it will go. Okay, well, this is a long video. Hopefully I'll get it done sooner than later, and then after all of that is finished, then I'll deal with wiring harnesses. Harnesses are okay. Oh yeah, the evap valves, one of them is stuck, that I have to deal with too later on. That's about it, and then the car will be pretty much ready to go. Everything will be working fine. As a matter of fact, maybe I'll put on the mat. I have a mat, so maybe I'll just spray it on and put it on, let it stick overnight while it sits. Alright, so this is going to be all. This is Victor at thisstoryofmercedes.com. Thank you for watching.